The recent meeting between U.S. President Joe Biden and Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni was more than just a courtesy call. It was a strategic engagement between two leaders at the helm of influential nations, navigating a complex geopolitical landscape. Meloni's visit to Washington marked her first official trip to the White House since assuming office, highlighting the significance of U.S.-Italian relations. The meeting came at a pivotal time for both countries. The ongoing war in Ukraine has tested the strength of transatlantic ties, demanding coordinated action and unwavering support for Ukraine's sovereignty. Meloni, known for her right-wing political leanings, has surprised many with her staunch support for Ukraine, putting her at odds with some members of her own coalition government. Biden, a seasoned statesman, understands the importance of a united front against Russian aggression. His meeting with Meloni provided an opportunity to assess Italy's commitment to the transatlantic alliance and to strategize on ways to counter Russian President Vladimir Putin's war efforts. Beyond the immediate crisis in Ukraine, the meeting also offered a chance to discuss broader geopolitical challenges, including China's growing influence, energy security, and climate change. As founding members of NATO and the G7, the U.S. and Italy share a common interest in upholding democratic values and promoting global stability. The Biden-Meloni meeting served as a platform to reaffirm these shared goals and to chart a course for future cooperation. The meeting between President Biden and Prime Minister Meloni was marked by a spirit of pragmatism and a shared commitment to addressing pressing global challenges. Despite their ideological differences, the two leaders found common ground on a range of issues, highlighting the enduring strength of the U.S.-Italy relationship. Unsurprisingly, the war in Ukraine dominated the agenda. Both leaders reaffirmed their unwavering support for Ukraine's right to self-defense and pledged to continue providing military and humanitarian assistance. They also discussed strategies for further isolating Russia on the world stage, including through economic sanctions and diplomatic pressure. Beyond Ukraine, Biden and Meloni addressed the challenge posed by China's growing assertiveness on the global stage. They agreed on the importance of maintaining a coordinated approach to China, balancing economic engagement with the need to protect national security interests. The leaders emphasized the need for a free and open Indo-Pacific region, where all countries can prosper and thrive without fear of coercion. Economic cooperation was another key focus of the meeting. Biden and Meloni discussed ways to strengthen trade ties between the U.S. and Italy, promoting job creation and economic growth on both sides of the Atlantic. They also explored opportunities for collaboration in emerging sectors such as renewable energy and technology. The meeting concluded with a joint statement reaffirming the strong bonds between the U.S. and Italy. Both leaders expressed their commitment to working together to address shared challenges and to build a more peaceful and prosperous future. The discussions between Biden and Meloni extended beyond the pressing issue of the war in Ukraine, delving into the intricate web of global geopolitics. China's rising influence, particularly its economic and military expansion, featured prominently in their talks. Both leaders expressed concerns about China's increasingly assertive posture in the Indo-Pacific region and its efforts to reshape the international order. They agreed on the need for a coordinated response, one that balances engagement with containment to ensure a level playing field and uphold international norms. The U.S. has been actively seeking to rally allies and partners to counter China's growing influence, particularly in the Indo-Pacific. Italy's stance on China is of particular interest, given its strategic location in the Mediterranean and its historical ties to China through the ancient Silk Road. While Italy remains a participant in China's Belt and Road Initiative, a massive infrastructure project aimed at expanding China's global reach, Meloni's government has signaled a more cautious approach towards Beijing. The Biden-Meloni meeting likely involved discussions on aligning their China strategies, potentially including Italy reducing its involvement in the Belt and Road Initiative. The two leaders also grappled with other geopolitical hotspots, including the ongoing conflict in Syria, the instability in Libya, and the threat posed by terrorism. They underscored the need for multilateral cooperation in addressing these challenges and reaffirmed their commitment to working within the framework of international organizations like the United Nations. Section 4. Strengthening the transatlantic bond, implications for the future. The Biden-Meloni meeting carries significant implications for the future of transatlantic relations. It signals a strengthening of ties between the U.S. and Italy, despite the ideological differences that exist between their leaders. This renewed partnership has the potential to shape the global response to pressing challenges, from the war in Ukraine to the rise of China. Firstly, the meeting reaffirms the commitment of both the U.S. and Italy to NATO and the principle of collective defense. This is particularly important in the context of the war in Ukraine, which has tested the alliance's resolve and highlighted the importance of transatlantic unity. A strong and united NATO serves as a deterrent against further Russian aggression and sends a clear message that any attack on one member will be met with a swift and decisive response from the entire alliance. Secondly, the meeting underscores the importance of a coordinated approach to China. As China continues to expand its global influence, the U.S. and its allies need to present a united front. The Biden-Meloni meeting suggests that Italy is on board with this strategy and is willing to work with the U.S. to counter China's assertiveness. This could involve closer cooperation on economic issues, such as supply chain resilience and technology transfer, as well as on security matters, such as joint military exercises and intelligence sharing. Finally, the meeting highlights the enduring strength of the U.S.-Italy relationship. Despite changes in leadership and occasional disagreements on policy, the two countries have a long history of cooperation and shared values. This foundation will be crucial in navigating the complex challenges of the 21st century. Section 5. Navigating the road ahead. Predictions and possibilities. The Biden-Meloni meeting provides a glimpse into the future trajectory of U.S.-Italy relations and its impact on the global stage. While challenges and uncertainties lie ahead, the meeting suggests a willingness on both sides to bridge differences and forge a common path forward. One possibility is a deepening of cooperation on security issues, particularly within the framework of NATO. This could involve increased Italian contributions to NATO missions, such as those in the Black Sea region or the Baltics, as well as greater collaboration on defense industrial cooperation and technology sharing. Economically, the two countries could explore ways to strengthen trade ties and promote investment. This could involve reducing barriers to trade, such as tariffs and quotas, and fostering greater cooperation in areas of mutual interest, such as renewable energy, technology, and infrastructure development. On the geopolitical front, the U.S. and Italy could work more closely to counter China's growing influence, particularly in the Indo-Pacific region. This could involve coordinating their diplomatic efforts, such as through multilateral forums like the G7 and the Quad, as well as cooperating on economic and security initiatives that provide alternatives to China's Belt and Road Initiative. However, challenges remain. Meloni's right-wing government may face domestic pressure to prioritize its own national interests, potentially leading to disagreements with the U.S. on issues such as trade, migration, and climate change. The global landscape is also constantly evolving, and unforeseen events could easily disrupt the best-laid plans. Despite these challenges, the Biden-Meloni meeting offers a glimmer of hope. It demonstrates that even in a world increasingly divided by ideology and geopolitical rivalry, pragmatic cooperation and dialogue are still possible. The future of U.S.-Italy relations, and indeed the future of the global order, will depend on the ability of leaders like Biden and Meloni to build on this foundation of shared interests and common values.